Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. It's great to be here as always. You're watching the VSO Gun Channel, and I'm excited to talk to you guys here today because I have some fresh rage bait for you today. Sometimes you see a story and you're like, I cannot wait to make a video on that one right there. What we have in front of us today is an example of a company that is, for all intents and purposes, in the commercial space, a no-name. They don't do anything in the commercial space, but they think that they're going to roll into the commercial suppressor market and strong arm established companies out of producing particular designs and or siphon royalty money from those manufacturers, all on the concept that they believe, common pause for effect, that they have valid patents on the concept of 3D printing suppressors. Right. So before we get going, I want to give credit where credit is due. When I do my research for various topics, decent quantity of that it occurs while I'm driving through audio means. And one of the sources that in the most recent months become a growing proportion, a small channel named Stamboulieh Law. And this is an attorney that basically goes through a lot of the minutia of firearms litigation in the space. He works in firearms litigation. He basically goes out and gets all the documents and tells you what's going on. And that's how I came across this story today. He has a dedicated video on this topic where he goes through all the documents.
Well, this is dumb. I got a copy of a cease and desist.
And I want to do this video to bring this to your attention today, and then also to signal boost what he is doing, because I think it is a fantastic resource that he is providing. So thank you to Steven over there for doing that. And I will have that and all the documents that are relevant today listed in the relevant places for you to run down. Today's video is brought to you by RMA Armament. Now, RMA is a brand that we have tested here previously. I'm going to link you to a video that we did about 3 years ago where we took their ceramic plates and shot them with ridiculous rifles at ridiculous ranges. We're talking like I am standing profile in the shot, and you can see me, the rifle, and the armor in the shot all at the same time. It even stopped a .338 Lapua at that range. RMA just launched their XRT plate, which is their extreme rifle threat plate. We're talking about stopping 7.62 by 51, so M80 ball, and 7.62 by 54R API, and doing so at just under 5.5 pounds. If you would like to see a testing of this plate, sound off in the comment section down below. But in the meantime, you can catch up with them at RMA Armament. Let's get back to the video. Now, I reached out to Steven after I saw his video published this morning and asked him if he would be so kind as to provide me with a copy of the cease and desist letter that he had in his possession, and he sent me a copy of that, so it is up here on screen right now. Now, I'm not going to read this to you verbatim because that's what he does in his video. You can go watch his, and I won't steal his thunder, but what I will do is provide you with some cliff notes or spark notes, depending on which generation you come from, of what this thing says. This says, "Hi, we are a lawfare firm representing these douchebags out of New York. We've been trying to get a hold of you because you make a thing, and we think that we should have some of your money." This was addressed to Otter Creek Labs. Now, Otter Creek Labs is a brand that I'm actually familiar with, and I've done a whole lot of suppressor testing over my career, and I've been able to use a lot of designs that I have not actually ever had in inventory, but you know, they're at industry events and various other things. Otter Creek Labs is what I would call a smaller manufacturer, but you'll find them at places like Silencer Shop and various other places. The distributor that I use carry their stuff, so it's a brand that's out there. Some of you may have some of their stuff. Well, they make a design called the Infinity. And this is a design that is direct laser sintered Inconel. In other words, 3D printed metal. The thing's a tank. I want to quickly highlight this blurb from their product page because I think it demonstrates the caliber of people that we're talking about. BYOM, buy your own mount. This suppressor does not come with a mount. This suppressor does not come with a mount. This suppressor does not come with a mount. If you email me and say, hey man, I just got my Infinity out of jail and there's no mount in the box, I'm going to make fun of you. Just keeping it real. We surveyed 3,000 customers and 78% of them said that they do not use the direct thread mounts that usually come in the box with suppressors. They throw it in a parts box to be forgotten or throw it away and buy their own mounting system. So we decided just not to include the direct thread mount so that we could reduce your cost. It's a hub design. So it goes something like this. Otter Creek Labs is getting ready to release this product to the market, and they get contacted by a lawfare firm before they get it out and says, hey, our client, which as far as I can tell is one of these big government contractors, like want to talk about like the epitome of the problem when you're talking about like fraud, waste, and abuse in government spending, like the folks that you think of when you're like, hey, you know, this hammer is going to cost $800, this toilet seat over here is going to cost you $400, that sort of thing. Like that's what this organization seems like they do. Anyway, we have a client that says that they have patents that cover the devices you're getting ready to release. We want you to keep doing what you're doing, go about your business. We just want to enter into a business agreement with you, likely where we're going to extort a whole bunch of money from you, and you just keep on doing what you do. So you're going to pay us royalties. Otter Creek Labs sees this and they say, okay, well, hey, send us your patents over. We'll look them over, see what you got, and we'll get back to you. Otter Creek Labs gets the patents and they ghost them. Well, let's take a look at those patents. I'll have all three of these patents linked down below, but they are roughly the same. I will read you the first abstract. A monolithic noise suppression device comprising a monolithic integral baffle housing module. The module comprising, in turn, at least no welded joints or seams between the various components that make up the core of the module, and no welded joints or seams between the core and any structures that make up the core, and various interior surfaces and or structures that make up the body of the module. The module is preferably plastic and manufactured using a layered printing process. The monolithic integral baffle housing module may include various other features that enhance performance, reduce manufacturing cost, facilitate customization, and eliminating restrictions on disposability as compared to conventional noise suppression devices. The monolithic noise suppression device may further comprise a first stage noise suppression device to be used in conjunction with monolithic integral baffle housing module. So to translate that for you, 3D printed. Look at this drawing. Tell me that that doesn't look like every other suppressor that is on the market. Same thing with all the other patents that are listed here. They are basically the same thing. However, there is one detail that I think that these folks who wrote this letter and the people at Center that have clearly no idea what they're talking about, is that is not what the Infinity is. You'll notice that it is not a plastic suppressor. It is an Inconel suppressor. It is made of metal. So not plastic. And the other thing that they failed to notice is that theirs, like they said, has no seams. The Infinity isn't that. You'll notice that the front of the Infinity, if you zoom in on that photo there, has a threaded front cap. It has that functionality. The patents on this monolithic bullshit that they've got on Google here does not have any of that. So what this company is saying is that they have come up with some inferior designs that give them a legal monopoly on 3D printed suppressor technology, despite having demonstrated no capacity to bring such a product to market, or even a desire to do so, considering that that device is not available on the market, even though those patents originate back in 2013. Last I checked, it's 2025. Where is your stuff? They instead have contacted this small manufacturer to try to extort them for royalties, saying that they own the concept of the technology. The problem there is that there are, I could probably think of at least 25 designs off the top of my head that do exactly this thing and do not have any seams. I'm not going to name them by name or anything because I don't want to feed the machine any more intel than they would use, but I'm sure that Otter Creek is not the only manufacturer that received this. I'm sure that there are probably some other people out there that received this, and probably some other larger companies out there that didn't receive this because they know that they're going to reach out and get the pee-pee slapped by the we'll throw one out there. Daniel Defense will eat these people alive. 3D printed technology has opened the door for so many folks to get into prototyping and manufacturing that were not capable of doing so before. Now, direct laser sintering technology, like metal 3D printing type stuff, is still pretty high-end stuff. It's not the same as your living room 3D printer type thing. It's definitely not. There's some pretty high tech in there. But it has made rapid prototyping and final production considerably more feasible, and there are things that we just simply were not able to do as far as suppressor technology is concerned with traditional manufacturing means. The idea that a company wants to come in and try to claim that that is theirs and curtail and hamstring any of the innovations that have been made in the space is reprehensible to me. And I think that there is only one solution for this sort of thing. Those patents, boys and girls, are publicly available. Those drawings I pulled for you off of Google. You've got the numbers. Send this video to your 3D printing groups out there. I know that you cesspool Reddit folks out there get it to slice, and these commie douchebags will have nothing to do for it. And that's what I got for you guys today. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you on another video here at VSO Gun Channel. And again, special thanks to Stephen over at Stamboulieh Law for getting me those documents.